Hey you guys, welcome back to my keto cooking channel where I try out a bunch of recipes that don't belong to me so that I can save you time and money. And in today's video, we're going to be making fries. And we're not just making regular fries, we're going to be making keto fries. So I did a little bit of research and the most common vegetables that people use as a potato replacement on the keto diet happen to be rutabaga, turnip, daikon radish, and jicama. We're going to try to find out which one really is the best one because I've seen a lot of them and I don't know, I'm not convinced. Also, you can't do a french fry test without ketchup. And in today's video, we're going to be using Primal Kitchen's ketchup, which is the cleanest of the ketchups that you could possibly find. And it has the lowest carbs compared to the standard ketchup that everybody uses, Heinz ketchup. Look at that. You got high fructose corn syrup, and 5 grams of total carbs in 1 tablespoon. We're also going to be using avocado oil because of its high smoke point. You can use this at 500 degrees and it will not burn. So that's key, especially since I'm going to be cooking the majority of these recipes at 400 degrees. Also, do as I say and not as I do. You might see me kind of drenching them in this video. You only really need a small amount. I just kind of went overboard. And as far as the seasonings, we're only going to be seasoning it with salt because potatoes are mainly eaten with just salt. You can definitely add more seasonings. Like I've seen other people use paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. I'm just using it salt because like I want a very clean baseline of what a potato tastes like. So what better way than just using just salt? And lastly, in this video, we're going to be using an air fryer because one, I have an air fryer, might as well put it to use. But two, I'm filming this video in the summer and I'm not trying to have my oven on this whole time, especially when oven baked recipes usually take about 40 minutes and in the air fryer it takes like 15 minutes max. By the way, if you don't have an air fryer already, I highly recommend getting one. They're great for reheating leftovers. They're great if you suck at cooking chicken because they cooks it all the way through for you. And then they're just great for what we're doing today as well. Alright, so next up is jicama, the Mexican tater. And I personally have never tried this on its own. I mean, I've gotten those fruit cups that come with like a bunch of fruit and then they add jicama to it for some reason. So I have seen it. I've just always ate around it, but I've definitely never cooked with it. So I don't know if it's the fact that I have like no upper body strength or that my knives are crappy or that my knife skills are crappy, but it was a pain in the butt to actually peel this thing. I tried using a vegetable peeler, but I had to abandon that idea so quickly and stuck to the knife. I should probably invest in better knives though. So I will tell you this, the texture of the jicama does remind me a lot of a raw potato, which makes sense why in the next step we're gonna boil the jicama. Out of all the recipes I looked over, I think only one actually recommended boiling the jicama. Their reasoning was to actually reduce that crunchiness factor from the jicama and help with achieving that potatoey texture we're looking for. In the end, I was glad I actually did it because they actually came out pretty soft and pretty tender, kind of like a real fry. And I mean, I wish you guys could smell this because as soon as I got them out of the air fryer, they smell just like french fries.
Welcome back. Wait, so which one's jicama?
This one.
The one that looks like a burnt french fry.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells good.
So this is the jicama. So I already tried all of them, so it's going to be pretty much you telling me what your initial thoughts. And I did reheated them up again because they did get a little bit cold and soggy after I let them out.
I actually like this one. I like my fries like really well done. So the burnt parts are pretty good. I mean, definitely tastes like french fries, but the inside is a little bit tougher, so it does give you a little bit more of a crunch.
Yeah, it has like that bite. I like these a lot. They actually smell like potatoes when I was cooking them. They do smell like
potatoes.
I could eat these as a french fry replacement for sure.
Yeah, that's a really good option.
So next up, we have rutabaga, another thick boy. It's also known as the Swedish turnip. This one was pretty tough to peel, not as bad as the jicama. I was actually able to use a vegetable peeler with this one. But yeah, in the end, I still do need better knives for sure. I tried my best cutting these as thin as possible, but in the end, they actually ended up still looking like steak fries. Luckily, there was no boiling required in this one. All I had to do was just add salt and oil and shove them in the air fryer. I baked them at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, but I don't think I cooked them for the full 15 minutes. I just kept checking on them till they looked done, because 15 minutes seemed very excessive to me. So the next one is the rutabaga. I'll tell you, when I first tried them right out of the air fryer, I wasn't a big fan of it. Try them.
It looks like pineapple.
It is a little sweet.
It is sweeter. Yeah, more like a sweet potato actually.
That's what I was thinking.
I like that. That one's actually really good. Different flavor from a regular french fry. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that one for a french fry replacement.
Oof, my knees. So next up we got turnips. And this is going to be the second to last vegetable that we're going to wish, dream, and pray it tastes like a fry. The texture of it felt super soft and it was the easiest out of all the vegetables to peel for sure. So that kind of gave me hope. Again, I tried my best to cut them into skinny little fry shapes, but honestly that's as good as it's going to get. And lastly, the recipe says bake them at 400 degrees for 15 minutes until golden brown. I ended up taking them out a little bit earlier because mine started looking a little bit more like golden black. Okay, so the next one is a turnip. The recipe I followed asked me to cook them at 400 degrees for 15 minutes and then do it again for another 15 minutes. And I didn't even make it the full 15 minutes and I was already burning them. So they might taste a little bitter because of the burntness. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, these remind me of the waffle fries, the ones that are all crinkle cut, but they're really thick and square. The ones that you got in elementary school that tasted like they're microwaved. They're not really crispy.
And they're very floppy.
Yeah.
They're very, very floppy.
Yeah, there's no crisp to them. The inside's kind of mushy. Definitely not my favorite from the 3 so far.
Daikon radish. I had high hopes for you, daikon radish. I've only had daikon radish in a keto au gratin recipe and it legit had me fooled that I was eating potatoes. So I thought for sure this was going to be the winner. I followed the same basic step. I peeled, I cut, I slathered in oil and salt, and then I rinsed and repeated. Okay, so just kidding about the rinse and repeat. I actually forgot to wash off all the excess starch off the daikon radish before I salt and oiled it, so I had to redo that part twice. Fun stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last one is the daikon radishes. Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
That's bitter. That's like radishy tasty. Ooh.
Don't use that one.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna like it because it tasted so good in the gratin, and now I'm like, oh. As always, I will link the recipes I referenced below. I didn't follow any recipe exactly, I just used them as basic guidelines to help me throughout this video. So for my personal favorite from all of them, it would either be the jicama one or it would be the rutabaga one. The rutabaga tasted really sweet. The jicama was nice and crunchy. Definitely I wouldn't make the daikon radishes. I had high hopes for that one. Jicama was the easiest one to cook. Rutabaga was one of my favorite ones to eat, even though it was slightly sweeter. It did give me sweet potato vibes. What about you?
Flavor wise, I mean the yellow ones I think are the best ones.
The rutabaga?
Yeah. They don't taste as close as another potato would taste to them, but it's a nice flavor. It's not like a crazy sweetness where it's in your face. It's definitely more subtle. Pairs really well with the ketchup.
What do you think about the ketchup compared to like the regular ketchup? Can you tell the difference?
No, not really.
So it's a good replacement for it?
Hold on.
It doesn't have a bitter aftertaste or because I think the sweetener that they use is... No, they don't use sweetener. That's interesting.
No, it's a really good ketchup actually. It kind of reminds you of the sugar-free ketchup we get from Heinz. Or the low
no sugar added one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely didn't like the last two that we tried.
The turnips were too floppy and not worth it in my opinion. The daikon radish, they're too radishy.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace. Yeah, sweet potatoes are really good.
The rutabaga ones.
I've not heard of any of these vegetables in my life.